Welcome to our Sequel Productions podcast. I'm Matthew Bonta.
I'm Melissa Bonta.
And I'm Greg Kleino.
Greg, who is calling in via satellite.
From good old Reno, Nevada.
Right?
Good old Reno, Nevada.
Hometown of Sequel Productions.
Yes, a little backstory. We used to live in Reno, now we're in Denver. And that's pretty much that backstory. And so our mission here today is to talk about some Batman-related stuff, since the new movie's coming out pretty soon.
How soon?
A week in 2 days? A week in 1 day? Actually, there's a sneak peek next Wednesday.
Goodness. Greg, are you seeing the midnight showing? Sneak peek, maybe?
I think I'm going to go second weekend, just because it's going to be probably sold out the entire first weekend.
Blasphemy.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, our midnight showing here at the IMAX was sold out when we went to buy tickets,
Oh, yeah?
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so weeks and weeks in advance it was sold out.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to go second weekend. Hopefully the crowds won't be as noisy either. So,
Are you gonna go by
not that
yourself,
I don't
or?
enjoy. Oh, no, I'll definitely drag people along if they don't want to go, which I will be hard-pressed to find anybody who doesn't want to go.
All right, so before we jump in, how you doing, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got out of my class tonight, so I'm feeling nice and worked up.
Dance class?
Yeah, dance class. We had our jazz dance class with the hip-hop following it, and it's pretty good. This is our first week back in class after our Art Town show. Reno, in the month of July, has an event called Art Town, and where basically all around the city for the month of July, there's just different art projects going on, and we, with Reno Dance Company, had a dance show last Thursday, the July 5th. So it's pretty cool.
How did it go?
Really well. We're downtown Reno in Wingfield Park. It's an outdoor amphitheater, and there's about 3,000 people there watching. It went really well. We got a lot of good feedback, and the dances went really beautifully, and yeah, just everything came together.
Awesome.
Are you in a play right now?
No plays right now. I'm just in dance classes. We got some auditions coming up for different shows around town in a couple of weeks, so that should be fun and agonizing.
As per
always.
usual.
Yeah. There's two different theater companies in town that are having season auditions the first week of August. So I'm looking forward to those.
What's coming up? What plays?
Reno Little Theater, their season auditions, and also, which will be the same for their first show, they're doing The Death of a Salesman.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm hoping to get into that.
Biff.
And then, yeah, as Biff probably. I'm too young to play Willie. And then Good Luck Macbeth, the other company in town that's having season auditions, their first show is called what is it?
Is that
A Moon
David-
for the Misbegotten.
That
So
David Mamet?
that is crap. I forget who it is. It's one of the famous older playwrights. The Good Luck Macbeth company. Their whole gist is everything that they do is at least 30 years old.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, you could do stuff from the 70s now, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you can even go up to early
Till
80s.
82 now. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear from you and hear that you're doing good. How's everybody else doing down there?
It seems like everybody's doing pretty well, keeping busy. Summertime, so we're all busy working, basically.
Yeah.
Getting 4 hours. So hopefully we can work less during the winter and do more fun stuff.
True story.
Yeah. I wish we were making movies again. I miss the movie making.
Soon, though.
Oh, me too. Our Untamed project that started at TMCC, a lot of the guys are starting to get together and putting ideas ideas together to stick everything on video and then post it all on the internet. So we're hoping to start that up pretty soon.
That's a great idea. Let us know when that's up. I'd like to see that.
I definitely will. I'll have to show you some of the Untamed title screens that I made. Just a short little clip, like a 4-second clip of Untamed, the little smiley, our logo.
Cool.
Well, one of our many smiley logos.
That's awesome.
I guess that's it. Anything you want to know on our end?
Yeah. How's Denver? How's everything settling in, and how are you doing? How's life?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's lonely here, and then we've got too much work, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm getting this new job so that I'll be back on the same hours Melissa is.
It seems
That'll be a lot better.
I mean, it's a bigger city, so there's opportunities popping up everywhere. Like little bits and pieces that can be put together and made into something that will start up the movie making process again. So, there's schools here that center around film and all kinds of stuff. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's cool to be in a bigger city and cool to be in a city that kind of appreciates film, I think, a little more than Reno did.
Appreciates everything, pretty much.
Yeah, appreciates everything. But I don't know. It's cool. It's just slow going because we've only been here for a while, so we're just now, I think.
Little while.
Well, yeah. We're just now kind of getting our bearings, and now we can start with the creative stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Definitely.
Indeed.
All right, well, let's jump into the Batman topic. So, Greg, how's your thoughts on the new?
Well, let's start with, have you seen the latest trailer, Greg, for The Dark Knight Rises?
I think I have. You'll have to refresh my memory. I most likely have, though.
Yeah, which one is your recent trailer, Melissa? Which one are you talking about? The movie ticket commercial?
Have you seen that one?
The last one I saw was during the trailers, the previews for when I went to see The Amazing Spider-Man, which is really good, by the way.
Yeah, that is.
And so it's everyone played before Spider-Man.
Did it play before the trailers?
Or with the trailers?
With the trailers.
Well, I mean, I don't know if things are different. It's hard to tell because this is the first time I've ever seen it, but before the trailers start up here, they've been showing, they showed, it looks like a trailer, but really it's just a lead up to, hey, buy the
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute preview for something.
It's like a commercial or a TV spot.
Yeah.
It kind of has that feel. But it shows...
With a trailer feel, though.
Yeah, but it shows
And then-
different things.
Yeah, and then after those are over, it gives you a quick overview of what you just saw, then it goes into the trailers.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I also saw that a 4.5 minute featurette, like a behind the scenes featurette, which is mostly like a trailer with some interviews with the cast that's going around Facebook right now also.
I thought that was a longer featurette. I hadn't seen it. I saw that it was out there, but...
Maybe it was 14 minutes. There's a 4 in there somewhere, though.
Do they interview, Tom Hardy, Christian Bale?
Yeah. Like, there's the one Tom Hardy line in there where he says something like, "There's some men just want to watch the world burn, and Bane is the person that is pulling the pin on the grenade."
Wait. That he says that line in the movie?
No, he says that in his interview, part of the featurette.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you saw the featurette. What kind of stuff did these people say? Any juiciness?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What was in the featurette? What kind of stuff were they saying and talking about?
Oh, they're just kind of mostly going over how the trilogy, the making of the trilogy of this Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman, the third one gives it a really good ending feel, and everything comes together fully closes a trilogy instead of just making another Batman movie.
Interesting.
Like
So
a question mark.
So
at the
what do
end.
you take from that? What do you think that means?
Well, before we jump right into the meat of this, so my plan for this series of podcasts was to get everybody that'd be semi interested and kind of have a different take for each podcast. So, we were gonna interview or talk with Dakota, Jeff, Ryan, Patrick. And everyone would kind of be a little different. So, Dakota was supposed to be last night, but he fell asleep. And so, Greg, I would like to kind of come at The Dark Knight Rises from like a comic book adapted movie perspective.
Okay.
So like, some theories that have been thrown out there are like, it looks like maybe they're taking some stuff from Batman Nightfall.
Like Nightfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And No Man's Land. I've heard Legacy as well. So,
Yeah.
have you read any of those?
I've read Nightfall and Contagion. I haven't actually read No Man's Land yet.
Because you were waiting for all 6 of them to be at like Barnes and Noble or something.
Pretty much, yeah. But Nightfall always comes up because of Bane and saying that the legend will end, basically. I mean, you always think, okay, well, is Batman going to die? Or are they going to break him just like in Nightfall? Or is he actually going to stay on? Or what's going to happen with Bruce Wayne? So, obviously, Nightfall is going to come up. But I can definitely see where No Man's Land comes in with the that earthquake scene or the whatever scene within the football field that's in the trailers. So
Well, I believe that's intimated that Bane blows up the football field.
okay.
But also there's the
But I
scene-
mean, that's a good idea. I mean, I didn't even think about that. So maybe he doesn't blow up the football field. But I think it's heavily suggested that maybe he blows up the football field.
But there's also the scene in the trailers that shows the bridges blowing up. And two bridges into Gotham City blowing up, which it's both of them and it looks very coordinated. So that's what makes me think it's No Man's Land, is it seems very, away from...
Cutting Gotham off from the rest of the
Cutting
world.
Gotham off, yes. And there's also a clip in the trailers that shows the Batmobile, or the what do you call that?
The Batpod?
The Batpod.
The Tumblr.
Yeah, the Tumbler, in kind of like a very empty street. And that makes me think, like Gotham's a bustling city, and it looks like deserted, and there are Batpods there. So kind of makes me think that.
It could. Well, in No Man's Land, they say, hey, get out now, or, you're going to be stuck in No Man's Land. We're cutting it off. We're blocking people from coming in, people from coming out. So maybe Bane is like, hey, I'm taking over. You want to stay, stay. Get out, because I'm going to blow up the bridges, and this is going to become my city.
Or
That'll be interesting if they do that, though, because that'll be twice in a row that they've done that, because the Joker also did that in The Dark Knight.
He
When he told everybody to leave except for the to wait and watch for the bridge and tunnel crowds because they had a surprise coming. So it'd be interesting to see if they use the same kind of plot line twice in a row. It might seem old and used before, so if it does, I mean, that might be a whole 30 minutes of the movie, of the 3-hour movie that I might sit back and think about my grocery list or something. I don't know.
I've seen this before.
Well, I mean, the movie's supposed to be 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Jesus.
So fucking anything could happen in this. Anything and probably everything. So, I mean, I've gone over a bunch of theories. So, Greg, you're going to get most of the theories out on Front Street. So, hopefully we won't cover the same material with everybody else that we talk to. But, have you seen the international trailer yet?
I don't think I have, no.
In the international trailer, there are scenes with Bruce Wayne walking around with a cane, like he's having trouble walking, he's limping.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
You have seen
And
that?
there's also the scene in the featurette, I think, might have been the new trailer, where he's walking in some sort of like a cave jail kind of system where the people are chanting that chants that's all throughout the trailers, and he asks the guy he's with what that means, and of course he says it means rise.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So maybe, and the movie's supposed to take place 8 years later. So maybe it starts. God, it's so hard to think about it because as you say something, you'll think of like, oh well, this kind of contradicts that other thing. But maybe it starts with him getting his back broken or something like that, and he's rehabilitating, in a Rocky.
very interesting, yeah.
A Rocky 3 kind of situation.
Yeah, and then like maybe we'll get the Nightfall Part 3 thing going in
Where he comes back and fights. Oh, we lost Greg. What happened? Damn it.
Hi, this is Greg. Please leave a message.
To disconnect, press 1 if you...
That was awkward. Let's see if we can get him back.
He's like, fuck this. Dark Knight's gonna be whatever I want it to be.
Hi, this is Greg. Please leave a message.
Maybe he ran out of minutes.
Does he run off of minutes?
I don't know.
thought
I wonder what he was
everyone-
going to say. To be continued.
It's a cliffhanger.
No!
What was he gonna say? He was gonna crack the code of the movie.
He was. He had everything right there. Now we have to wait a couple
He's like,
days.
here is the secret of the movie.
Alright, let's try calling him back.
Maybe his phone died.
Hi, this is Greg.
That's what it felt like. That maybe
Did it
his
feel
phone
like
died.
that?
Well, it seemed like that. The way he was cut off and the way the phone kind of... It looked like it was very sudden, opposed to like, you accidentally hit a button or something like that. And the fact that, unless he's trying to call us at the same time, the fact that it goes straight to his voicemail.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What was he saying?
I don't know. Like I said, it was a cliffhanger. He was like, yeah, and I saw it, and this is what I think.
Probably was genius.
Did it for showbiz.
That's a sound you never hear. It was like, I've got the inside information. This is what I heard from my secret source. Click.
Christopher Nolan busted in. He's like, hey! Can't tell secrets on the internet.
Cut off his phone service.
Well, hopefully they don't bust in here.
They're like, we're gonna have to confiscate that camera. Just take the shit. Hello?
Hey,
Hey, what happened?
my phone died. So I plug it in real quick.
Okay. That's what we thought happened. We were worried that you were about ready to break the movie code and then you were
Ambushed by
you were
Christopher
silenced
Nolan.
by the government.
Christopher Nolan and his government officials.
So, what were you saying before we were cut off?
Here's what I think.
What was I saying?
He got his mind wiped.
We totally lost our train of thought. So, okay. So I think I started off by saying that maybe it begins with him, like, getting his back broken and then kind of rehabilitating, and then you start to talk.
Oh, yes, that's right. Have you heard anything, or do you know, or would you speculate about Azrael being in this movie?
You know what? I haven't heard anything about that. Nothing at all. But, oh, well, actually, you know what? It's the theory is that maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his cop character, may be the person to carry on the mantle of the Bat after Bruce Wayne leaves, dies, whatever happens. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
That's been a popular theory going around. I think that would fit a lot better in with Nolan's realistic Gotham City as he's been making,
Right.
instead of having Azrael, a fallen angel or whatever, coming in. I think people would be able to believe Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character a lot easier.
Should we kind of briefly discuss what Nightfall's about?
You are jumping all over the place. Hang on one second.
Okay.
So I think it would be awesome to have Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character be Azrael, because it's this whole idea, like this whole time Batman has been the bad guy. And that's the whole idea, is that he is the bad guy, he's the person that the cops hate, because not only does he do their jobs better than them, but he's holds himself above the law. So, to have a cop take the place of Batman would kind of, I think, reiterate the whole idea of justice is beyond these institutions that we can set up. Justice has to be something more, has to be an idea. So that's what I think.
Well, off of that, what you're saying, the most recent Azrael was actually a cop. And then became Azrael.
There you go.
But before that, so let's, for anyone who may listen to this ever, we can figure out how to get it online, and if anyone listens to it beyond any of us, Nightfall, in the comic books, came off the heels of Superman dying. And so they were created...
Superman sleeping, basically.
Yeah. Superman's coma.
A really long coma.
The sleep and return of Superman.
Yes. So, they started off Nightfall with a couple of pre-issues. You get The Vengeance of Bane, and it goes over the entire origin of Bane, how his father was serving time in a prison, and he died. So they took his mother, his pregnant mother, and she was going to finish out the time. So she gave birth to Bane, died herself, and then Bane grew up from birth to adult in this prison. And they experimented on him with Venom, which was the drug that is kind of like steroids, essentially. And there was before Bane even showed up, there was a Venom like 5-part story in Legend of the Dark Knight where Batman gets hooked to the Venom and he has to kick the habit. So Bane decides he's going to go fight Batman to prove himself. So he goes to Gotham and kind of checks out how Batman works and operates. In one issue, he pumps the Riddler full of venom and sends him on Batman, and he gets defeated. So right after that, he blows up Arkham Asylum, sending all the villains into the city, and essentially his plan is to just weaken Batman as much as possible, shut down anything that he's got, and then attack him at the very last straw that Batman has left in himself. And doing that, he's not really proving himself in any kind of way as if he could defeat Batman. It's like, sure, you can beat a guy that's about ready to pass out. So Nightfall was this huge maxi series that ran alternatively between Batman and Detective Comics, and they're all numbered, and they lead up to issue, I believe it was 666. No, that was one of the issues that it went through on Detective Comics. It might have been 515 or 415, something like that. And Bane breaks into Wayne Manor because he figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Takes out Alfred, catches him in the Batcave, and just beats him up, breaks his back, and then throws him off of a building. He takes him to a high building and throws him off.
And he breaks his back first.
He breaks his back first. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So before all this, before they introduced Bane, they introduced Azrael. And Azrael is I believe it's a Catholic character. It's a religious character who fights for
In the name of God.
He fights in the name of God, and and it's passed down from father to son, and these children they're born in a kind of a test tube, so they aren't birthed out of a mother at all, I don't think, if I remember correctly. And so John Paul Valley is just kind of this high school kid or college student. His father's dying, comes to him, says, you're Azrael, and then dies. So Batman, I don't know why they did this. Batman gets him to be the successor to his mantle, or he hands it to him when his back is broken. Even though he proved to be unstable, and he has like Robin, Nightwing, all these people he can ask. But he gets Azrael to do it. So
maybe that theory, just that story, goes really well with Dark Knight Rises because there's no Robin in any of the Nolan Batmans. So I think that would go very well with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Right, instead of like, in a very unrealistic way, Batman grabs some child to fight time with.
Right.
He gets an adult that's, trained.
Yeah, trained.
Yeah, like that scene in the trailer where Christian Bale is all hooked up in the hospital, barely alive, basically. He can barely even understand what he's saying.
Wait, you mean Commissioner Gordon?
Gordon. I can never tell who that is.
You said Christian Bale.
So this story of Nightfall, this is where I personally kind of see where the movie could converge No Man's Land with Nightfall. Maybe in these 8 years, Batman has been cleaning up the streets, dumping these criminals into Arkham, and just basically creating just, a ton of these criminals all in one place. Maybe this is where Bane blows up Arkham, releases those criminals, then they have to declare No Man's Land because there's all these criminals loose and they can't do anything about it. And then the whole Nightfall thing unravels.
See, I got the sense from the trailers that Bruce Wayne has not been Batman for 8 years, with Alfred saying that it takes a while to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, that's the... of course we won't know, but that's, I think, the general plot, is that he has not been Batman for 8 years.
But why?
So that he can be the bad guy, so that Harvey Dent doesn't have to be.
So they
What do you
could
mean he
use
can-
Harvey Dent as a martyr rather than as a criminal who died, so that he would be seen as Gotham's White Knight, basically.
Because...
Harvey Dent.
Yeah, because the Batman says, accuse me of all these things that he did as Two-Face. Chase after me.
Right. While I continue to clean up the streets of Gotham.
Well,
Because if
that's
he,
what you think at the end of the movie. It's like, okay, he'll go back to being more underground. But with the new movie, it's making it sound like he just quit being Batman and was more of a myth without having to do anything.
But if he did take that 8 years leave or whatnot, what's even the point of his whole mission? It kind of makes The Dark Knight, the second movie, kind of pointless, because then he's not doing anything. He had this mission, he had this goal, and then he just steps out and doesn't do anything for 8 years.
That sounds like a question that won't be answered until we go see the movie. Greg, any
He could
theories?
possibly be trying to... Shit. Everything's falling. He could possibly be trying something economic like his father, Thomas Wayne, tried to do. Maybe he thinks he can do something like that.
Just kind of throw something
Possible.
at it.
Just speculation, but...
Trying something else. Well, I will be disappointed if that's what it turns out to be, but who knows, maybe.
All right, and then kind of like the end of Aliens, and then moving on to Alien 3, where at the beginning of Alien 3, Newt is dead, but yet the entire plot of Aliens, well, the second half, they're just trying so hard to save that girl. At the end of the movie, she does, risks everything just to save that girl. And yet, she's dead at the beginning of Alien 3.
Well, I mean, I would hope that Christopher Nolan would have a better plan than to
Right.
make part of a story pointless.
All right, well then, jumping off of Nightfall, since Melissa converged them together, No Man's Land. I'll go over a quick overview of what that was.
Quick.
So,
A quick overview of 100 different comics.
oh seriously, fucking A. So, No Man's Land started with Cataclysm. No, is it Cataclysm? Yeah, Cataclysm. There's an earthquake in Gotham, and everything is destroyed. Throughout Cataclysm, there's this earthquake after earthquake, I believe. At least one little one, and it builds up to a bigger one. And then after that happens...
And these are natural earthquakes.
Natural earthquakes. Nothing does this. No one comes in. No great supervillain. Although Scarface created... the villain, the ventriloquist in Scarface, created a second personality called the Quake Master.
Yeah.
And he kind of put a hoax, like, saying, I'll do it again if you don't pay me. And then they figured out that it was him, and it was just an idiot. And then after that, there was a couple Aftershock issues with the title Aftershock running along the covers. And then from there, it leads up to Road to No Man's Land, where Bruce Wayne travels to Washington, D.C., pleads with the government not to cut off Gotham City from the United States and to provide relief. They say no, blow up the bridges, blow everything going in, guard it with military at any kind of border that there is, any kind of way in. And they're just cut off from the U.S. and they're in their own sovereign nation. Except it's like a third world country because the city's in ruins.
There's no electricity, right? No water.
Yeah, none of that. And it goes on for a year. And when it begins, Batman is gone. Batman, disheartened by the government's action on Gotham City, leaves. So there is no Batman for the first, I think, 3 months of No Man's Land.
And his I almost called him Goonies. His team is kind of there in his absence, right?
Well, actually, Robin, his family, Tim Drake, the third Robin, his family, they take off. His dad wants to leave because they're given that option to leave. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier on. So they leave, and he escapes back into Gotham City after a while, and Nightwing's in Bloodhaven.
Right.
So he doesn't show up until later.
And there's a lot of shit going on in Bloodhaven at that time, too.
So, like, basically all the cops are gone, and it becomes just gangs taking over parts of the city. And the only real superhero around is the new Batgirl. Mm-hmm. And no one knows who that is because she uses the full face mask that covers her mouth, and everyone knows that Batgirl, the original one, is crippled, and it's the Oracle. So,
well, isn't Oracle around at that time, too?
Yeah, Oracle is the only person... she's keeping a journal, a day-to-day, of what's going on in Gotham City, mm-hmm. now that it's a no man's land. So that's the basic gist of that, is that earthquake, and then the city's cut off. Bane does show up at one point in No Man's Land, and he's hired by, I believe, Lex Luthor.
Ridiculous.
To break into No Man's Land, and I think he's going to destroy the Hall of Records, which he eventually does, and then he sticks around. Also of note, I forgot to mention this, in Nightfall, Catwoman shows up, and Bane hires her to be kind of his eyes and ears over Gotham now that Batman's back is broken.
Which seems like it's kind of a possibility in The Dark Knight Rises.
And we haven't even mentioned Catwoman at all in this whole podcast.
Well, we're talking about storylines and...
So any thoughts on Catwoman and No Man's Land, Greg?
Well, first off, Catwoman's costume, Anne Hathaway's costume, looks awful.
I agree.
What do you hate about it?
I hate how plain it is, and how she has just the basic eyes, like an eye cover mask, instead of, the hood and the goggles.
Yeah.
So, I just think it looks very plain and kind of amateurish, in a way.
I like that word used for that. Amateurish, yeah. It is amateurish.
And maybe it will come up that she's new to the scene, and so she had to just throw something together. Like Catwoman to begin with, but I agree, Catwoman's a dynamic character and she needs a dynamic costume, and, a black jumpsuit just doesn't cut it for me. But,
Yeah. I am, though, very interesting to see what kind of acrobatics she can do.
Well, she said that, like, this is the most physical job that she's had, and once she realized that that's what it was going to be, she's, like, just nonstop, like, training.
pretty cool. That sounds cool then.
Yeah. So,
Why
hopefully,
Catwoman in this movie?
I'll move past the costume, so, which I should be able to in a Nolan movie, but...
Oh, let's talk about something that's interesting in the trailer. It's got an almost Schindler's List feel to it when people go hiding under dressers and under beds, and people come in like stormtroopers and start dragging them out. And it looks like they're tossing kind of like jewelry and possessions off of like the second floor stairway into the the main hall on the first floor or whatever. What do you think that's all about, Greg?
I don't think I've seen that bit where people are hiding.
That was in the first trailer, I believe. Like not the teaser, but the first real trailer. People are just scurrying in one scene. It's when Catwoman, you see her dancing,
And she says, "How do you think that you could live so long with so much without leaving some for the rest of us," or something like that? It's then?
Yeah, it's then.
I hadn't even paid attention.
It's worth another look, but it's
Okay, I'll have to go back and look at it.
maybe it's at a point where Bane's taken over. He's got Gotham in his hands, and Batman's gone, and him and his goons. He's like, maybe he's, and this could also come off of, you see the tumblers with their actual army camouflage, their desert camouflage. Maybe Bane's taken over and created his own army and is starting his own nation with his own troops and bodyguards.
Goons, yeah.
And so he's going through Gotham and he's, taking.
Or are you talking about the big fight with like the thousands of extras fighting downtown?
Maybe this is the lead up to all that. So, like, the precursor to that is Bane's, putting his stamp on Gotham City and just.
And this would all totally follow No Man's Land. Because when the cops abandon the city and when everyone abandons the city, it's free for anyone to take rule.
Every man for himself.
Yeah.
Or woman, I guess.
Yeah. So he kind of makes it his own place. What's your take on No Man's Land, the movie being No Man's Land? How close do you think it'll get to that?
I think it'll be as close to No Man's Land as Batman Begins was as close to The Long Halloween, where you saw a lot of aspects that were very similar, and how you saw that they were kind of following the same major plot lines, and some of the little subtler plot lines of the comics, but it's its own story in itself, but with a familiar feel to it.
Very true.
Alright, so let's jump off of No Man's Land and move into Legacy. The main plot.
Now that one I have not read.
Oh, I don't think it's so much the main plot of what that's about as it is for one little minor plot. So, the main gist is Ra's al Ghul has gotten himself a hold of the Wheel of Plagues. And he's dropping a plague into Gotham City and people start getting sick and dying.
The Apocalypse Plague.
Oh god, what do they call it?
The filovirus
The clench.
and
Oh, when they get all...
the clench, that's what it is.
Yeah, the clench.
I was doing the face, Greg. I'll take a picture and post it on Facebook.
So
I can't imagine having the clench. I bet you I know why they called it the clench. Like the size of it.
Yes.
So when Ra's al Ghul shows up, he's got a new Ubu, and Ubu is the word used for his main bodyguard, and it's always a big dude. And this new Ubu, he's got like a mask on, so you don't know who it is. But then it's like he takes off the mask, it's Bane. So the aspects from the Legacy, I think, that might turn up is the fact that Ra's al Ghul gets Bane as his new bodyguard and his new betrothed to his daughter Talia.
Okay, so you're assuming a lot of things here. You're assuming that Ra's al Ghul's coming back, that Talia is going to be
confirmed
there.
that Ra's al Ghul's coming back.
Okay. Ra's al Ghul's coming back. That Talia is going to be in
It's
it.
rumored that Marion Cotillard is playing Talia.
Wowza.
So, more on Legacy. Also significant of that is it's the first time Batman, Bruce Wayne as Batman, gets his first rematch against Bane, and he defeats him. And it's also the first time Bane comes back without being attached to Venom. You know, he kicked Venom and just worked out and became big and huge and physically perfect on his own.
So what it sounds like then is, according to your theory, Nightfall will have been the story that wasn't told. It'll be what happened before the movie. And then Legacy will be what we see.
Could
Right.
be. And then followed by No Man's Land? What do you think, Greg?
During No Man's Land.
Well, then again, there's always there's the scene at the end of almost every trailer where Batman and Bane face off. Now, do you think that would be an early scene or a late scene in the movie?
Under my theory, it would be a later scene in maybe Act 2 or 3.
It looks like they're fighting in some kind of subterranean lair.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the Batcave. Maybe it's where Bane breaks his
Possibly
back.
the back of it.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is why, like, there's this whole, like, thing in all the trailers where Bruce Wayne as a kid, they're going back to him falling into that cave, and there's all these bats there. So, you know, maybe that ties together. It's like he fell down in this cave once. He's falling down again.
For the last time.
No, it's the whole, why do we fall down, Bruce? So we can pick ourselves back up.
again.
That could be
And-
the tie there. I don't know.
And what's with the scenes of him in that prison? Why is he in a prison?
With Bane talking to him, right? Or like saying,
Where they're doing the rise. Awesome.
yeah.
Why is he in that prison? What is he? Is that a flashback? Is that a flashback from
I don't know.
when he, like, at the beginning of
But-
Batman Begins, where he's in a prison there?
Isn't there a
I don't know.
storyline?
Bane is talking to him in that prison, saying, because Bruce Wayne says, "Why don't you just let me die?" And Bane goes on to say he can die after Gotham is in ruins or whatever.
So you think that scene takes place in the prison?
I don't know. I think that would be. I feel like that would be an Act 2 scene if there's 3 or 4 acts in the movie. So like
Isn't
2/3 of the way through, almost, or 1/3 of the way through.
But you think that might take place in the prison? Where he's talking to that guy, you know, what is it that they're saying? Rise.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Okay.
I think that probably is all connected.
I mean,
And then the shot of him climbing out of that hole, like a
Like
old
sewer.
launch tunnel or whatever, him climbing up out of the tunnel.
isn't there a storyline in Batman where Bruce Wayne does decide to spend some time in prison? I could have sworn, I remember reading something. It could have been just a little tiny story, but I could have sworn it was a big part where he decides to go to prison and he's in there for a while and he just kind of...
I don't know. It doesn't really cover anything in year 1, but there is the Gotham Knight shorts, collection of shorts where it has him go off. I think it has one where he's in prison. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch it again. But yeah,
The animated one where it's like 6 and they're all a different animated studio.
yeah, and there's like 8 different shorts on that.
Well, there's 6. So the first one is all the kids tell their different story of when they ran into Batman. There's one with Deadshot. There's one with Croc and Scarecrow. There's one with, like, the cops, Crispus Allen, and they're taking on the mobsters. I don't quite remember what. Yeah.
That's right. The final one is where he's gotten shot, and he's having flashbacks to where he was in some Asian country, learning from a sensei or something.
Okay, and then there's another one where it's kind of like he's the pretty boy anime character, and he's got that force field that when a bullet comes near him, it kind of shoots a quick force field up, and he stops using it because a bullet ricochets and hits somebody.
Oh man.
So those were the 6 then. So no prison stuff there.
Okay, so let's talk about characters in the movie. So Matt, you had mentioned that Marion Cotillard
However you say it.
Is rumored to be playing Talia.
I've read something that she's got a name, and it's not Talia, and she's not playing, quotes, Talia, unquotes. But I think it's still a huge speculation that she is playing Talia.
Okay, so are there any other names on the cast list that it's perhaps they're going to play somebody special?
Yeah, Marion Cotillard, she's playing Miranda Tate. I don't know anything about Miranda Tate, if this is a brand new character within the universe, or...
I think I read that it is a brand new character.
But maybe that's
Okay.
Just
her
like
alias.
Joseph Gordon.
Maybe it's an alias. It could be an alias for Talia al Ghul.
Yep. Can you...
Anagram?
Yeah. No.
Well,
too many
there's a
T's.
T, there's an
Too many
A,
T's.
but there's no L.
We're like, hey!
I also know that I believe that Cillian Murphy's going to be back for a cameo Scarecrow.
Is Heath Ledger going to be back?
No, they were talking like maybe using unused deleted scenes,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Christopher Nolan came out and was like, no, that's not happening.
Or like that's...
Oh, here we go. I'm on the, there's a list in the cast for a young Talia al Ghul, played by Joey King.
And there's also going to be a young
And
Ra's
Joey-
al Ghul too, right?
Yeah, and Joey King is only 13 years old, 12 years old, so...
So if they had a scene with a young Talia al Ghul, why wouldn't they have a grown-up Talia al Ghul? Because what it
adult
sounds
Talia al
like
Ghul.
is that it would be like a flashback or something.
They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
I know, with this bullshit names and everything. Like trying to pretend that Joseph Gordon-Levitt isn't going to be Azrael. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Matthew Modine from Full Metal Jacket is going to be in the movie playing a cop. He's in the scene in the trailer where he's talking to the other cop. He's like, oh, he's a war hero. He's like, yeah, they're going to cut him after... Or no, they're going to cut Gordon, in the fall. And he's like, oh, but he's a war hero. I was like... Or no, but he's a hero cop. He's like, no, he's a war hero. This is peacetime.
No.
So Matthew Modine is a cop in that scene. And he's a pretty decent-sized name. He doesn't do much, but, like, he was the star of Full Metal Jacket, the Kubrick film.
Okay.
So, maybe his cop is... and the naivete that comes off of his character during that little back and forth with that other cop. Maybe, he's possibly a good cop. Going to take over for somebody. Not that he's like some kind of hidden character that we're going over with right now, but
Yeah.
that's one.
I do like that they brought Selena Kyle's little buddy Holly Robinson into the movie also.
Oh, there's she's in the cast list?
Yeah.
That's
Really?
Juno
awesome.
Temple is playing her.
Who?
Juno Temple
Juno
is playing
Temple.
Holly Robinson.
I know that name, but I don't know.
What else is she in? Do you know, Greg?
Juno Temple was in Year One, Atonement, Mr. Nobody,
No.
a few other. She was the queen in the horrible Three Musketeers movie.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I went with my girlfriend at the time. Waste of money.
The movie or your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Wow, Holly, that's awesome. That's cool. So there will be some probably Selena Kyle backstory working in the mix.
Yeah, probably nothing like in Year One, but
Not a prostitute.
You don't think?
Yeah. I mean, it is Anne Hathaway, so she could be a prostitute, but we'll see what happens.
She wouldn't be Selena Kyle without having seen the prostitute scene, I think. But
I don't know, I think the trailers portray her as like a high-end thief
Yeah.
kind of thing, like a thief that has class, you know?
But there's
Yeah.
got to be something more in the movie, though. The trailer, like you said, the trailer really only goes that far.
Yeah, it's only 4 minutes of 33 hours, so.
So speaking of trailers, why do you guys think that they have arranged the trailers the way they have, with glimpses and bits and pieces, and we haven't seen a trailer that tells any kind of story? Why do you think that is?
It's true. There's no real story going on. But I know the last trailer that they did was more centered around action, because I think it, like people said, that there's really not much going on in the trailer before that. But you know, one
I think it's a great way to keep this huge fan base on their toes as to what is the movie actually going to be about. And I think that's probably a good marketing play, so that people won't just say, oh, it's this story, I don't have to go see it right away. Or something, they'll be like, okay, I don't know what this is about, I want to go see this right now.
Definitely.
I think it's more of a marketing ploy.
It's definitely all about anticipation and just building it up, keeping people blogging about it, keeping people podcasting about it and talking about it and speculating. And you know, it's funny because we're throwing out all these ideas. What if we go see the movie and it's nothing what we thought it would
Well,
be?
it's everything that we
It could go any number of ways. It would just be, you know, funny to be
And with-
so disappointed.
Yeah, with making a trailer like this as vague and questionable about different plot lines, storylines as it is, you get so much more free advertisement by word of mouth like we're doing right now.
True
Definitely.
story. True story.
One thing to note here, I've got the new Batman HeroClix figures.
This isn't a HeroClix podcast, Matthew.
But the cards, the character cards, they have lines on here. They have what I'm assuming is quotes from the movie. So Bane's moves are, I have vowed to destroy you. You feel fear, but I do not. This one's interesting. Your body will be broken like mine.
Whoa.
Your strength will be tested. You will feel pain. You will not stop me. Do you have the will? Another dose of venom. Your dreams will be shattered. And this will hurt.
So it's almost glaringly clear to me that Bane is gonna or has broken Batman's back. The question is, with his whole "you will be broken like me," does he use the venom to get through the pain of his own, like, broken back or something? Like, did that happen to him? And he has to use that venom to get through the pain? Like, is
Well,
this
that's very interesting.
No, I didn't see that IMAX footage, the first 5 minutes of the movie. Did you see that, Greg?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I've seen clips of it here and there since then.
One review of that 5 minutes, I read Tom Hardy plays Bane as a very broken man, like he's gone through some shit.
Yeah.
My theory was, maybe Bane, it's probably not this at all in any way, but maybe Bane was a victim of one of the Joker's evil doings from The Dark Knight. Like maybe he was in that hospital that blew up, or something like that. And so he's recovering, and the only person he has to blame for that is Batman.
It's interesting because in the comics that comes up so often. Like these people who blame Batman because he didn't save this one person. And so then this one person turns to crime. So Batman's creating these criminals almost as fast as he's putting them in Arkham. So that's a very interesting theory. And I'm sure if it's not with Bane, it could be with any number of them.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. That could very well happen.
That's it. Yep. Could be. Well, then there's also the problem of that basically already happened with Two-Face. I think Two-Face already kind of blames Batman for being who he is. So to do that again would maybe be reiterating the same point. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible.
But they did kill Two-Face, so.
They did kill Two-Face, and you know what? Christopher Nolan even said, hey, Aaron Eckhart, who plays Two-Face, you're not coming back because you're dead.
Really?
Yeah, he told him that back right after The Dark Knight. But I thought, it would be great if the world thinks he's dead, which was the plan, but he's really just alive, hidden in the dark recesses of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what everybody thought after he fell in Dark Knight, because you can't kill Two-Face. He's one of the top 5 greatest villains in Batman, but
He didn't even look dead.
Yeah.
And he was in the movie for such a small amount of time. Gotta be revisited.
Yeah.
He didn't have hardly any time to cause two-sided chaos.
Well, it's because I think he was more of an anti-hero in The Dark Knight, because he's only killing bad guys.
Right.
True.
So he never did anything bad.
Still needed
Until that
more
very
screen
last
time.
moment where he had the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he still needed more.
But then again, he's using his logic that the Joker gave him and throwing chance into it to make his sense of fairness out of chaos. So.
Yes.
Indeed.
Have you?
Now, what would you think about Joker? Would he have any part to play in Dark Knight Rises? Would it just be like news clips or something, or just like a name drop of the Joker somewhere throughout the script? What do you think about that?
I didn't even think about that. It could be. I mean, thinking of the Joker actually showing up in the movie kind of, left that plane of existence that the day Heath Ledger died, and the fact that he won the Academy Award for it. I don't even think they'd bother trying to replace him. But, like you said, news clips, maybe as a threat of things to come, could possibly pop up in the movie.
And I think it would be kind of silly, to almost pretend that the Joker never happened, especially the Joker being Batman's kind of number one villain. I mean, not in the Christopher Nolan movies, but, in the comic books, Joker is Batman's number one villain, and to kind of go through the third movie pretending like it never happened would be ridiculous. So there's got to be some mention of it. The Scarecrow came back for the second movie.
Supposedly coming back for the first one.
Right, so there's got to be some kind of carryover, I think.
Yeah, just kind of keep it together a little bit.
Exactly.
Unless they're doing something like in the New 52, where this new series that's coming out in October, I believe, with the whole new Joker, being that he's taken a break for a few years, planning this whole new plot against Batman. Maybe they could be working off of that, where Joker's taking a break, planning something.
I haven't heard that. I didn't. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's part of the New 52 lineup for the fall.
It's going to be a new series with the Joker, or he's just going to show up in one of the current ones?
Just a new story arc.
Okay.
For the fall.
Are you currently reading the New 52?
Not right now. I'm waiting for
Trades.
save up some money to get the trades for the Owl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last I heard,
I like reading trades rather than single issues.
Right. Last I heard of the Joker in the comics, he had his face cut off.
And if you look at the new artwork for the cover of the new Joker story arc, he's holding up his face, and you can see you can sort of see his scarred up face behind his Joker mask.
Like he's holding it up in front of his face?
Yeah.
Okay.
And his eyes are coming through the holes in his old Joker face.
It's terrible.
It promises to be very
Very dark.
gritty and cruel and dark, so I'm excited to read it.
Have you had the new Mountain Dew, Greg? The new Dark Knight Mountain Dew? It's awesome.
Dark Knight Dew.
It is.
It's
dark.
Mountain Dew Dark Berry, dew with a blast of mixed berry.
Ooh.
And
I will have to try that and stay up till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Matt's had 3 just in the hour and a half he's been home.
I'm addicted. It tastes great.
Now, is it as good as Ecto Cooler?
It's better.
Oh, is it as good
Oh.
as Pitch Black?
I'm shameless when it comes to movie product merchandise tie-ins.
He is shameless. He is such a mindless consumer. You could hand him something that just says Batman on it. It doesn't need a picture. It doesn't need any other tie-in. It says Batman on it. He's like, I'll buy it here and now. Give me all of your Batman shit.
I know.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, well, let's try and wrap this up. So, Greg, let's throw some last few questions out.
Okay.
Does Batman die in this movie?
I'm going to say yes.
So you think he's gonna die? Do you think he's maybe dead already during the movie, or he dies at the end?
I think he will probably die towards the end, and John Blake, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, will probably pick up the cowl.
And maybe continue on throughout the ages into the future.
Yeah, I think that would be consistent with Christopher Nolan's universe.
So it's got an
Not that I want it to happen. I think it would be great if it just broken bad Batman and then get healed and everything. But I think he might kill Bruce Wayne.
So going with what Christopher Nolan says, that it does end, so instead of just kind of like Batman dies, it ends, that maybe there's still hope.
Yeah.
Someone picks it up, and you can see that he'll do it just like Bruce Wayne did, and then maybe find someone else that he can pass it on to.
Well, I think the promise of the end, of wrapping it up, is all about establishing the idea of Batman is more than a person, it's a symbol. And then, that's how it wraps up, is like, Batman has been, is, will be forever. Done. Story told.
With great power comes great responsibility.
No.
Different movie?
Different movie.
Any other big speculating questions that have come about? Do you think Ra's al Ghul will have a big part in the movie?
Well, with the young Talia al Ghul, I think he might. And there's also a young Ra's al Ghul listed in the credits, played by Josh Pence.
So there's a young Ra's al Ghul. So, and I've heard Liam Neeson is definitely coming back. Is it just going to be a couple series of flashbacks with Ra's al Ghul, or do you think Ra's al Ghul will be in the present of the movie?
Well, with this young Ra's al Ghul, I think there'll probably be a couple of flashbacks of him growing up. But then Ra's al Ghul is supposed to be 400 years old, right? So
not this realistic storyline.
Right. I was going to ask, so in this realistic storyline, is the Lazarus Pit going to come into play at all? Or is Christopher Nolan like, that's ridiculous?
It's obviously going to be ridiculous.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
He could be playing is Ra's al Ghul merely an ideal line that he throws out in Batman Begins before he torches Wayne's mansion. So he could be playing with Ra's al Ghul, the name being eternal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
Um,
I have a question. Greg, do you think this film will affect this year's upcoming election?
Absolutely not. Unless one of them dresses up like Batman, in which case I will vote for them.
What if they both dress up as Batman?
The better suited one. Clearly it'll be the white one.
And the third party can come in as Bane and break them.
Be independent.
What if Obama pops
So,
up in this movie?
Like Obama.
He's like, I
and-
believe in Batman.
And most likely Mitt Romney, whoever has the best Batman costume at Comic Con between those two, is going to win the.
The election. The people love it.
I don't know. There's yet to be a president or a presidential candidate to be at Comic Con, so maybe
Really?
they need to.
Are those facts?
Well, that is not a factual quote, but I'm assuming it's a factual quote, so I'll have to research that.
You know, while we're
Pure
talking about these last few questions, I came up with an idea. Maybe Bane was also part of the League of. Oh, what do they call it in the movie?
League of Assassins.
It's not the League of Assassins in the movie.
Oh, the League of Shadows?
Society of Shadows. He calls it the Society of Shadows. In Batman the Animated Series, it's the League of Shadows.
Society of Shadows doesn't roll off the tongue.
It doesn't. So
It
maybe.
sucks.
No, he calls it League of Shadows in Batman Begins.
Does he really? I thought it
Yeah.
was Society of Shadows.
I think you're.
No, it's definitely League of Shadows.
Who would call something a society when
Well,
they could
maybe
just
it's in
call
the
it a
animated
league?
series, Society of Shadows. Maybe Bane was going to be one of them, and Bruce Wayne fucked it up, him as one of those dudes at the beginning of Batman Begins. And so that's how Ra's al Ghul comes in, is because he was the mentor for Bane's protege.
I thought all those guys
Very
died for
interesting.
some reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as we know, they all died. Maybe Bane was one of them,
Bane died.
but
Although
he didn't die.
Okay.
Not all of them died. Actually, not all of them died because the people who torched Wayne's mansion, you also see at Ra's al Ghul's house.
Yeah, they come back and find him at the end of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Bane is the successor to Bruce Wayne, who wouldn't go into Gotham and destroy it like Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul wanted him to. And that's why Bane in the movie, he's like, you know, when Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die. And he's finishing the job that Bruce
Bruce
Wayne wouldn't
Wayne's in.
start.
And he wants Bruce Wayne to watch it happen because he says, this is what you couldn't do, and this is what I'm doing.
Oh, shit!
Oh, man!
Oh no. Oh no, that sounds like a very,
Plausible.
very key plot line. That's plausible plot line.
Holy shit, we just broke the movie just now.
Greg, we're going to call you
Just
at
figured it
6
out.
o'clock in the morning and tell you the whole plot of the movie.
5 o'clock your time.
5 o'clock your time, a.m. And we're going to tell you the whole plot of the movie. And you're going to be like, what?
Wow. I just
Blew your
blew my own mind right there.
I don't even need to see the movie now. Don't
Figure it out.
Oh man.
Alright, final comments, Greg?
Dark Knight Rises rules. I will pay lots of money. I'm gonna see this one full price, no matter what. So
Before we go, did you see the Avengers?
I did see the Avengers.
What'd you think?
Loved it.
I'm asking because
I,
this is a very comic book summer. So you got Avengers, Spider-Man, Batman. So you like
Yeah.
Avengers a lot. It was good.
Talking.
I really did enjoy the Avengers. I loved how funny it was. The script was hilarious, and I thought it was well played. Great performances all around. Loved Mark Ruffalo as Banner. So
There wasn't enough Nathan Fillion in that movie.
not any Nathan Fillion. No.
That's my point.
That's the problem.
All right, so that.
But I've heard Nathan Fillion is going to be rumored as Ant-Man. So
I've
we'll
heard
see
that.
where that goes.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Now, bringing up the Avengers, it made like $1 billion plus. Do you think The Dark Knight could possibly break the record the Avengers did?
One weekend.
Do you think so?
I think it will beat the Avengers opening weekend. And I think it might be in theaters longer than the Avengers, just for how I think it's got. I think Dark Knight Batman has a. I want to say it's got a wider fan base, but I would just say that because I'm a DC guy.
Right.
All my Marvel fans would probably disagree with me, but we'll see.
Well, what it seems like is the Avengers was kind of you knew what you were getting. You paid for what you knew you were getting. With The Dark Knight Rises, like there's so much mystery and intrigue, and like we're talking about anticipation.
How does it end? Does he die? Does he not die?
Right.
Who are all the people who are going to be in it?
Yeah.
What's Bane's deal? What's Catwoman's deal?
Right.
What's that cop's deal? Is Ra's al Ghul in it? What's going on?
It's true. So
Yeah.
that's why I think like there's more anticipation, which will lead to more tickets behind this than the Avengers, which the Avengers was basically a culmination of a bunch of movies that everyone has already seen.
Yeah, you knew 5 guys were going to beat
Yeah,
the shit
like
out
in
of
the
them.
Avengers, nobody talked about how the Avengers were them because you basically knew. And then that last scene, final scene with Thanos, you were just like, what? Okay, I guess we can make more Avengers.
Right.
Instead of,
Yeah, but all the people that were just going to see the movie, they're like, who's that guy? I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. I'll watch the next one.
True story.
yeah.
Like that,
Which I'm also excited for Iron Man 3, but
which...
I'll just stick with DC for now.
Hell
And
yeah.
then we've also got the Man of Steel coming up, too,
So excited.
True, with
as well.
James Cavill.
Yep. And you got Russell Crowe playing Zor-El. Kevin Costner and Diane Lane playing Ma and Pa Kent.
And if everything goes according to plan, we will have a Justice League movie before the end of time.
Hopefully.
Before the end of time. Hopefully before I'm dead, so I can actually see it. Maybe they will remake Green Lantern so that it looks good, so that it also is good instead of just looks good.
You know, I wouldn't be
better
surprised with the way that they're remaking movies. Like, they give it, what, like a couple years, and then they're like, it's prime for remaking. So, yeah, I agree.
But then again, with the Justice League movie that is in pre-production right now, none of the actors have been in any other DC movie as that character to date. So
Is there are you on IMDb?
not right now, but that one I've IMDb'd it before, and there's plenty of
There's not a
Funny,
cast list on there, is there?
not on IMDb, but on other websites like blogs and stuff like Bill Blow and all that.
You've seen like a actors cast as certain parts for a Justice League movie?
Basically, from what I remember, like a short list of actors for each character.
Okay, we will research. We will
Okay.
research and we will revisit.
Alright, so we'll sign off, Greg. It's been great talking to you.
Great taking with you guys too.
And I'm Matthew Bonta.
I'm Melissa Bonta.
And I'm Greg Kleinow. And this is This Old House.
Stay classy.